NSFW, what unexpectedly turned you on? We were going through our old childhood books to donate to charity and she found this Sesame Street picture book I must have owned as a kid. She was going to get rid of it but I wanted to keep it. She started reading through it to me to tease me. When she got to the section about Ernie taking a bubble bath with his rubber ducky in her teasing voice, it awoke something in me I didn't know about myself before. We kept that book and now she reads it to me on my birthdays before we have bubble bath sex. My wife doesn't really ever swear, except when we are doing the deed. Then she throws around F-bombs freely. One day she kicked the corner of the table and screamed out aloud, "Fuck." I had a Pavlovian response in my shorts. My fiance makes this sound when Hess turned on by something I'm doing or that Hess looking it on me, but it can be a problem sometimes because he sometimes uses the same sound when he sees like an ad for food that looks really good. Read this is what unexpectedly turned on you and started writing about how when I was younger my grandma's sweet dog almost tore off 2 of my fingers. Thank God I went back and read it. When my so jokingly bit my butt, I was lying naked on the bed after a shower and he straight up bit my butt cheek as a joke and dang, it did things. When my husband looks back when he's backing in the car. Wife couldn't reach something and I caught her hopping up to try and get to it when she didn't know I was there. My brain went into primal must have K right now mode. A couple years back, my girlfriend at the time and I used to have sex while Pandora played. Every once in a while a car insurance commercial would play in the middle of songs. We laughed it off, but it didn't distract us from doing the deed. Fast forward a couple years forward and I hear that same car insurance commercial. Instant erection. This guy I was seeing called customer service to get a company error corrected. He used the softest, firmest, most understanding tone I've ever heard and I lost my damn mind. My former professor took job as copywriter for the education system in our company. So I write the technical stuff, send it to him and he'll make it nice to read. First time I read his work on my text, I was amazed by how well he understood what I meant and made it so much better. And I got wet. I still sometimes think about certain paragraphs when masturbating. My hairdresser straddles my leg once in a while and gets really close. She also gives the best scalp massages. 70-year-old woman said I was handsome. Got a raging hard-on for some reason. I think I need a girlfriend. I, female, was doing dishes, and one of male friends who was visiting was watching me from the doorway, unbeknownst to me. When I noticed, he was just casually standing there, leaning against the frame, arms crossed. Moist panties. I accidentally Pavloved myself. There used to be this porn I watched with 2 chicks in it that had no audio other than music by Disturbed. Years later Disturbed came on the radio. I instantly got turned on. Was so confused for like 10 seconds. Taking a Greek mythology course and the TA, a curvy redhead, said if you want to talk about mythology for hours on end, I'm your girl. Someone being extremely passionate about history or doing well in Scrabble. It's very weird. Licked my ear and him down to FK. That scene in GoldenEye where Xenia Onatopp squeezes that guy to death awoke something in me at a very young age. Driving off cliffs in video games, falling in them in general. Also those videos of people jumping around on very high ledges and buildings. Late to the party but whatever. Being in my tent. Like, I don't even know. When I'm camping and I retire to my tent, slip into my sleeping bag and zip up the little tent door. I have no idea but apparently that really does it for me. Someone acting out of character. So a shy guy suddenly being aggressive or a loud dude being quiet, in a situation that might call for it. So like a big loud dude being soft towards a cat, or a quiet dude defending someone in a fight. Physical therapy, a no bullshit Indian lady is working on my neck. I start to droop my head, she unceremoniously yanks me back into position. Keep your head up. Damn, yes mistress. Hitting the rumble strips on the side of the road. Looked me dead in the face, asked cash or credit? And I jizzed in my pants. My girlfriend when she picked up a knife. Didn't expect that one. I don't have a medical fetish, but for some reason medical scrubs do it for me. When I was a freshman in college an English boy in one of my classes said the phrase war of attrition with his English accent and I had to go take a breather. Fear. Years ago I was playing the first BioShock with an ex in a fully darkened room with a wall-sized projector. At some point we came across an operating room where the lights were flickering, blood everywhere and then got jump-scared by a psycho doctor. Full on threw that controller across the room and jumped into his arms. Shortly after we got busy. Years later when my mom died I uncovered her old stash of Omni magazines where I found an article on the fear response and sexual arousal and it all made sense. When I'm cuddling with a guy and him little spoon and I can feel him getting hard. That really does it for me. Tomato in the kitchen was looking extra thick just the other day. My boyfriend speaking Gaelic to me for the first time. He was just telling me what the police are called in Ireland, but FK talk about a waterfall. Went to yoga with my lady friend. At the end of the class, the instructor had us all lie on our backs on our mats and she was humming or lightly singing. Then she rubbed a lemony oil on our shoulders and foreheads, and the touching and humming gave me a braingasm, and I've been into ASMR ever since. My lady friend did not like hearing how much I enjoyed the conclusion to the class. A mistake I never repeated. An ex-boyfriend lecturing me about money. I don't think it was the context, just the way he did it. Like a stern father. He did a lot of things in a stern, disapproving dad way, and I'd kid was hot. I guess this means I have daddy issues. A girl I was friends with had apparently been giving me hints for a while that I hadn't been picking up on. One time we're hanging out and she goes to take a pee. She yells at me from the bathroom to come here. I walk up to the door and ask her what she needs. With no hesitation she says, "Come in here. I want you to watch me pee." Unexpected turn on for some reason. I don't know what it is, but something about the just woke up look really gets me. Like messy hair and loose pajamas. Shit's my kryptonite. My wife on her tiptoes. So when I was in my early teens and just discovering SX, I decided that since I was a bit of an artist, I could draw porn for myself. I started with a vag and that was all well and good, but then I decided to try a DK and suddenly sprung. I was not expecting that in the slightest. Older women who give off down mommy vibes. Once had an older woman with a short silver fox haircut and a stronger jaw call me a good girl while I was at work because I did something right with her order that nobody else could for some reason. I'm a relatively straight female. Or am I? Well, FK, I really like having my knees rubbed. I could have an orgasm over it. I wouldn't say it turned me on, but I've once seen my teacher's belly button, because her shirt wasn't covering it properly for a moment, and let me tell you, it's a fine-looking belly. A friend told me she had a being choked fetish while we were Black Friday shopping. So, obviously, I jokingly choked her in the middle of a crowded Target. Almost nutting at 11:27 p.m. in the middle of a Target is how I discovered I like choking. ETA, I am female. Still like choking people. My girlfriend and I had just finished having sex. I went to the bathroom, came back, and was ready to go to sleep, because I was actually really tired. I start drifting off to sleep when suddenly I hear her voice say, "Oh no you don't. I'm not done with you yet." Then she gets on top of me, pins my arms back, and starts kissing me. It was so unexpectedly hot that I was instantly ready to go again and no longer felt tired anymore. Pinning a guy down while I was on top and taking full control while he begged me to FK him. I never knew having power and having a guy beg for me would drive me so crazy. It brought out a side of me I never knew even remotely existed. Sustained eye contact from the guy behind the counter at the gas station. He had dark brown hair and blue eyes, so his eyes really seemed to penetrate me. It was a slip and slide down there, boys. Bite my earlobe. It was great until my cat apparently figured it out and now it's how she wakes me up. Whenever my girl talks about how she appreciates me and thinks about a future with me. Instant we need to FK mode. My wife telling me she never wants kids. A female bodybuilder, for around 3 seconds until I realized those were girl titties. I'm gay. Coming down off a DMT trip. There is no easy way to say this. I masturbated thinking about my bedroom door. Having my head scratched softly and sensually while cuddling. Not in the usual kind of horny turn-on way, but there is something extremely sensual and erotic about it and I am not even sure why. Something about the intimacy and tenderness of it. He turned on a movie while I was standing up and he unexpectedly pulled me into his lap and he was hard. I liked that way more than I thought I would. Brief eye contact with my tattoo artist while he was tattooing me. Scaring people at my haunted house job. Going down on my husband, who was usually pretty gentle with sex, and having him push me down on him repeatedly and roughly. I didn't know he had it in him. That was years ago. Things have progressed since then. Lol. Fire. The fact that the guy I like likes to be insulted. Fingers. Long and lithe, or thin and short, male or female. Something about graceful fingers turns me on. The groggy/gravelly voice of a man who's getting stern with you, squeezing your arm kinda just all around being protective. I literally scrolled half asleep and ended up giving this post silver by accident. FML edit to at least answer your question to know. Nice looking eyes always do something. Having a girl suck my finger, in that slow sensual way. To my own surprise, it immediately made me fairly hard. Even weirder, it was a purely physical turn on, as my mind wasn't really into it. On the phone with this guy, there's some history with us, and he said shut up, bitch, mostly jokingly. Instant and confused arousal on my end. Made an alt just for this, Cause it's super f'd up. Representing a guy at a murder trial. Not giving details because it was a fairly distinctive crime. Dude get found guilty, not entirely a surprise, and during the punishment phase the victim's younger sister testified. You know how some chicks get really cute when they're angry? Well, this chick was furious, and she was hot to start with. I'm not sure what it was exactly, but damn, she did it for me. I was glad I didn't have to get up for anything. The flatbread at Subway suddenly seemed very sensual and seemed to have a skin-like texture. It quickly passed and was replaced with WTF? Boyfriend was passed out drunk in bed with me, when I see his penis stand upright and an arc of pee hit me directly on my face. I was so angry that night, but it woke up a kink in me and now I'm the weirdo with a pee kink to go along with the degradation one. When a girl is wearing a skirt/dress that is short/flowy enough that it doesn't cover her ass when she sits down on a bar stool, so she just bare asses it on the seat. Husband sucked icing off my finger. Needless to say, I kept getting my fingers covered in icing. I'm too embarrassed to tell him I'm into it lol. I was in Japan and had a crush on a woman from South France. Returned to the U.S. in line for fast food, and I hear a woman behind me speaking with a southern French accent. Popped a boner in line for a slice of pizza. My high school girlfriend was giving me head in the 69 position, but was using her feet to keep my shoulders pinned down and not let me return the favor. I've never wanted to eat a girl out that bad in my life. When a guy was rubbing his erection up and down between my vagina and butthole, and teasing me, when deciding which one to start with first. The first time I used a riding lawnmower when I was like 12. All the vibrating gave me a raging hard-on. To this day whenever I use one to mow I get at least half a stock. When my partner comes to pick me up in her car after work. She didn't even do anything. I hugged her and in the process smelt her hair conditioner. It was so strangely hot, I immediately get turned on. When I worked in a pharmacy as a stalker, once I spilled some of that KY warming lube on myself as a bottle had cracked open in transit and like. Why did I get turned on? It's unexplainable, but it happened. I bought some after I clocked out.